This is something that, like, straight up, like, don't disrespect it. Don't pour it in anything. Don't put ice in it. Don't put water in it. This is how it was meant to be. But the flip side of it is you have to have respect for it.
Welcome to Whiskey Neck Pour. Today,
We got a special treat.
due to technical difficulties, we are having to reshoot some of our stuff. And we're going to start with the Jack Daniel's Coy Hill.
Yeah. I'm actually a little excited to retry this one. It's kind of good that we got the neck pour out of the way. That way that bottle has a little time to breathe. This was pretty spicy last time we tried it.
Oh boy.
So I'm really curious to see how we're going to feel about it the second go around.
So this one is bottled at 139.7 proof, so it's definitely on the lower end of what they proved them at. I think it was as high as 148 or something.
They definitely got spicy the further they went up.
So we're going to jump right in. This is the 2021 special release from Jack Daniel's. Their highest, I want to say it's their highest proof that they've released.
As far as I'm aware, I mean, to me, this is truly what they call like white lightning is, but it's been aged in a barrel, right? So this is really as pure of a form of moonshine as you can get with it being aged in a process of a barrel. So I expect that barrel to really bring out some of that flavor in it, but at the same time, I'm kind of curious to see how this is going to taste now that it had a little time to kind of aerate.
Getting a second look at this.
Yeah. It's kind of like a second date, you know. She was good enough to take out the second time, so we took it upscale a little bit. We're gonna treat her a little nicer.
Maybe a steak dinner this time rather than the chicken.
Go ahead and splurge. We're paying.
Okay, it still smells earthy.
Yeah.
It's got, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's something Jack Daniel's is doing. I get a lot of that sort of like earthy, leathery sort of notes on the nose.
No, it doesn't quite smell as hot as it did last time.
No, it's got kind of like mellowed. It's sweeter.
Yeah. I'm actually really enjoying the smell of this a lot.
Still super dark in color. Almost syrupy. It's not that, but it's real thick.
Have you ever been around like a cherry tree like during the summer? Like it's kind of reminding me of like those earthy tones a little bit.
Interesting. I don't know if I haven't been around a cherry tree. You have one out in your front yard, don't you?
George Washington chopped down a cherry tree, didn't he?
George Washington?
You know?
We have George Washington sipping on Jack Daniels today.
Wow. Woo! It doesn't disappoint with the heat, and this is on the lower end. I can't imagine what that higher end tastes like. It's hot.
So you feel it. Every time it's just creeping down your throat into your chest.
I hate when that happens.
Oh. That's gross.
It's hot. I don't know if it's gross. I would just say that, like...
No, not the Jack Daniels, what you just said. I'm sorry, I'll stop. You can edit that part out.
But it's definitely hot, but kind of in a good way. Like, you know, like, I kind of have to say, like, kudos to you, Jack Daniels. Like, when you say, like, hey, like, we're going to make something that's, like, uncut, unfiltered, like, we're truly just going to let the still do its thing through its cycle, right? So, like, when you first start a still, like, you have the head, then you have, like, kind of the body as it goes, and then you have, like, what they call the sweet spot, which is kind of, like, in between the run, and then you kind of have the runoff. So I'm assuming at this proof, we're kind of towards the end of the runoff.
I think they call that the tails.
The tails. But I'll tell you, like, oh my God, it's hot. It's hot as hell. It's hot.
Yeah, it's real spicy. It's got a lot of heat to it. What is your thing? That Kentucky Bang Bang?
It's a Kentucky Bang Bang.
There you go.
But what I will say is, like, you know, like, I'm actually, like, excited that it is that way because, you know, a lot of producers out there would have watered this down. They would have tempered it down, and Jack Daniels said, screw that. This is what it tastes like. So kudos to you for actually producing something that truly came out of the still into a barrel, right into your hands. There's really no altering this at all. There's no blending. This is just straight up what you got.
The heat on this is almost so hard to get past for me.
I've had a lot of shine in my life, and I can tell you, good shine, that is good. And what I like about this is, like, you taking something that you probably could have just drank before it was aged, but you went through the aging process, and in return, you got something really unique. This is something that, like, straight up, like, don't disrespect it. Don't pour it in anything. Don't put ice in it. Don't put water in it. This is how it was meant to be. But the flip side of it is you have to have respect for it. This is something that, like, you're not going to just down, right? Like, we're not going to sit here and drink a half bottle of this because, A, we would die, but B, that's not what Shine is. Shine is a sipper, and the fact that it's aged, like, I have mad respect for what they're doing here on this one. I really do.
It's definitely a good bottle.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, I'm having a hard time. It's just
it's hot. It's burning it down. Like, I don't know if you've ever had, like, Shine or Everclear. For a lot of viewers, it's probably as close you're gonna get to, like, what this is like, it's hot. It is letting you know its presence, but at the same time, I'm able to kind of pull out some tasting notes, and kind of those tasting notes I'm getting are kind of like, and I know this sounds kind of silly, but cherry tree. I'm getting, like, if I was to, like, bite into a cherry tree, like, this is what I would expect it to kind of taste a little bit. Barky. It tastes a little barky to me.
For me, this is just with all how the Jack Daniel's 10-year was. Super earthy. A lot of, like, leather. But it's pleasant. It's not bad.
Gosh, you know what this almost
maybe a little bit of vanilla.
Yeah.
On there too, like towards the finish. It's some of the stuff. So the finish on it's actually really good because it sits forever.
This tastes a little bit, just like put a little taste on your tongue. It almost tastes like the Stag. Just like the Stag is not as hot, but if you just put a taste on your tongue, it's like you almost taste that cherry syrup that I tasted in the Stag.
This is close. That's Stag.
Proof wise, it's close. I think Stag's 130.9, and this one we have is 139. If I'm remembering
so the
correctly.
Stag is 130.4, and this is 139. 139.7. So they're close. They're within about 10 points of each other. They're both really thick. This is a really sort of thick and viscous whiskey. It's got some really dark colors to it too. I mean, you can tell it was in a very, like, high heat place in one of their rick houses, and I think that's what they say is that it was in the Buzzard's Roost in Barrel House number 8. Yeah, I think they tend to stick these at the top or closer to the top to really kind of get, like, the extreme temperature swings that you get between winter and summer. So they got a lot of that distillate moving in and out of the wood over the seasons. Would this take down something in the wall? No. I don't think so either. Now, if I did have to rate it, I would say this is worth a try. Definitely worth a try. Yeah. Our rating scale is stack it, which is our highest. Track it, which is something you're going to hunt for. Buy it, which is something you're going to buy if you're in the store and they have it. Try it, which is something that's, worth a shot, but maybe at a bar you just get a pour or something like that. And then, mix. It's something you just mix into the drink. I'd go as high as, like, $49 at a bar to try this if I hadn't tried it yet. I definitely think it's unique. I think it's special. I don't want to take away from that. But as far as owning a bottle, this is a hard one because, like, even though I have mad respect for what they're doing, I personally can't see myself ever coming out to my bar and being like, you know what tonight is? It's a Jack Daniel hazmat night. I can't see it. Now, granted, times can get a little tougher and I might get there. But it ain't today. Not when I got this stuff back here. This is a bottle that you bring out, you're having a party, you get some people over who want to try it. Sure, give them a pour, let them try it. That's why we're going with the try it rating. Yeah. I definitely don't think it's worth, buying at the secondary price on this bottle. If you could find it for retail, I'm with you. I'd probably snag a bottle. It's $75 retail. I think that's what it was in Virginia. Yeah. It was super hard to find though. It's hot. It's fun to drink. It's fun to try. But it's not even fun to drink. It's kind of hurting me, to be honest with you. It really is. Like it's hot. Yeah, you can feel it. I mean, every inch of, like, your chest and into your stomach. I mean, man, it's. The flip side though, if, like, I'm Jack Daniels, I'm like, look, you two idiots. Like, that's why I called it hazmat. Like, warning. Like, so, like, again, like, I have total respect for what you're doing. I really appreciate the fact that, like, you're changing it up a little bit. You're trying something different. I know as a whiskey collector / drinker, this is cool to have, but at the same time, I'm with you, Zach. This is a total try it at a bar and move on with your life. You can spend your money more effectively. Absolutely. That being said, guys,
definitely try it. We're glad to be opening it. We're glad to be sharing our thoughts with you. At the same time, guys, like, hey, if you try this and you have a totally different perspective on it, like, throw us a comment. Like, tell us what you thought about it.
If you manage to find a bottle that's at a higher proof, I'm curious because this is on the low end. They went all the way up to 148 proof. So let us know what your thoughts are on it. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. We're going to be doing some more videos coming out every week on Wednesdays now. So we are still on our quest to 2,000 subscribers.
We are.
When we get there, we're going to open up that E.H. Taylor Brand of the Gods bottle. So
come on, guys, get me there.
Show us some love.
Tater Nation out. It's not a first impression, it's a second impression. So it's like a second date. We're on a second date with this girl. We liked her. We took her back out. She was just spicy enough to keep us coming back.
Maybe stepped it up a little bit, bought a little better dinner. Instead of bowling, you go to a movie.
Yeah.
Oof.
You know what happens in the movie theater, though?
You're a little handsy.
Yeah.
This is
watch that
a
popcorn
little
bucket.
spicy.
I'll tell you, second impression of it, though, is not hateful.
Producer Mike is
I'm
dying back
fucking
there.
rolling on this shit, dog. And you're...
That's because we can't roll on that.
Oh my god, why not? I think it's good. Yeah, I like it. Like, second date, we took her to a movie theater.